Whew. All right, welcome to Dad's Deep Dives. Today I am going to be indexing and itemizing my wardrobe. It doesn't seem like a daunting task because I've been minimizing and refining and crafting for quite a long time now, and I think I'm finally at the point where I'm ready to finally just take the step and take pictures of everything, get it itemized. I already have a note on my phone. I might share a screenshot of every single item that I own, down to my socks, my underwear. But the only thing that I don't really have is like my accessories, like hats, bracelets, that I've just kind of started accumulating recently because I've gotten bored with my wardrobe. And bored is really the reason I'm making this video, not necessarily because I'm bored. I think that's a poor way to put it. It's because in this phase of life, I feel like I'm lacking a little bit of creativity as a new father of twins, and I guess an old father of, that sounds really weird, my 3 and 4 year old. The last 5 or so years, I've lost a bit of myself. A bit of myself, well, actually, most of myself, I would say 80% of myself has been put into people. My children, my wife, I guess also the house, the yard, the dog, the fish, relationships, work, all that type of stuff. And in that, I've lost a little bit of creativity. And not only have I lost a little bit of creativity, I've almost actively tried to snuff it out because with the influx of responsibility, having 4 kids in 5 years, all the stuff that comes with that, all the stuff in the house that's broken, all the stuff everywhere that's needed to be done, I've almost been ruthless about efficiency and productivity and creativity and expressing myself in an artistic way, in the way that I dress, in the way that we decorate the house. This, in the way that I do a lot of things, has kind of been lost. And so this last couple of months, ironically, since we've had the twins, I've been trying to bring that back because with the addition of that responsibility and the time it takes to care for 2 little babies, I've realized I'm never getting back to, single me with, all this time, really all this free time to express freely. I have to make it. And I've been finding that dressing myself in the mornings or throughout the day has really given me an opportunity to express myself, even if it's, just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes here, or my wife and I go shopping when our parents take the kids. We look for stuff. We look for palettes. We look for colors. We look for materials. The other week we went to our little favorite spot that we walk at to just take pictures of everything, take pictures of colors, take pictures of textures, and we printed them out and we scrapbooked. And it really made me realize that this is one of those things that had to die for a little while, but is now coming back. And I've spent a lot of years, I might do a whole video on this separately from this video, but I went through a uniform phase where I wore the same thing every day. I went through a beige phase where I only wore beige. I went through a phase where I only wore overalls. I think that I might have only have worn overalls for like 4 or 5 months. I had a brown and a light brown pair of overalls, and that's all I wore. I went through only wearing jeans. So many iterations of this, but now I'm finally kind of to the spot where I have a good balance. And I'm really looking to kind of hone in on some particular things, but to get that little extra out of it, I really need to get everything out of my mind, even everything out of my closet, everything out of my drawers, everything out of the dirty laundry, everything from the coat racks, right? And just be able to look at it all so that when I'm in the store, I can just be like, okay, like this color will go, this texture will go, or like, hey, I don't need another pair of shoes right now. Actually, I do need a pair of shoes right now because, side note, yesterday, I'm building a greenhouse in the backyard right now, and I had to rip up some old decking to do it. And I finished the greenhouse, and it was time to clean up the yard, and I stepped on a rusty fucking nail. A piece of wood from the old decking that I peeled up, and it went right through my boot. I am on a waiting list for my doctor to call me back about getting my tetanus shot because I don't think I have one. That's a side note, but I need another pair of shoes because I got a hole in my boot now from a rusty nail. aside from that, I only have 5 pairs of shoes. So now I'm down to 4 pairs of shoes. I need another pair of shoes. And when I go to the store to look for another pair of shoes, it'd be great to just pull out my phone and be like, oh, okay, like this pair of shoes will go with these pants and this shirt and this, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I don't want to disguise this all as creativity. Actually, this could be looked at from the view of this is the next step in productivity. This is the next step in efficiency. Instead of keeping all this in my head when I'm making these decisions, I can just have it. I can have it like right here, right here. And that would be very great. Also, it's very economical. I don't need to spend a whole bunch of money on things that I don't need. I don't need to spend a whole bunch of time like going back and forth to places, buying, returning, buying, returning. I can have an idea of what my budget is for a particular piece if I need to. I can have an idea of how much, where I've gotten out of a particular piece, if it was worth the money, if I should make that purchase again. And so that's why I'm doing this, to kind of, one, take my self-expression a little further and have a better idea of the things that really kind of speak to me and make me feel more like me, but also from a practical perspective, so I can spend less money, I can spend less time. And getting dressed is something that I do every day, and it's something that I've enjoyed for quite a while. It's a hobby that my wife and I kind of share, and I just want to take the next step. So I'm indexing all of everything that I have today. That might have been a bit more backstory than you were hoping for, but I'm going to be using this app my wife found. I think it's actually called Index. I'll share it with you. I'll maybe even drop a link if I end up. I'll shoot the video, use the app. If I like the app, I'll share it with you. If I don't like the app, I'm just going to keep all the pictures and probably just put it in some sort of file that I can just look at. Really just like maybe just like a photos album of something where I can just rearrange things. Anyways, the room's kind of a mess right now. The twins right now are sleeping. I'll take you around the setup I have right now. So this is the room. The twins are currently sleeping on this bed. It's kind of messy. This is our bed. We moved it all the way to the side of the room. And this is our air mattress that I've rolled up to make space to take pictures. But we're sleeping on the air mattress because we are trying to move from co-sleeping to them sleeping on their own. But having 2 beds means that we can just wake up from the air bed, walk over to this bed, feed, co-sleep for a little bit, and then walk back over to this bed. And then with 2, like we just don't have room for everybody to fit in one bed. So we don't want to buy a new bed. That's a whole other thing. So that's why the room looks a little messy right now. It's a mix of baby stuff. My stuff used to be over here, but now it's over here to make room for the bed. My wife's stuff is kind of in there. That's a bathroom. And then over this partition is her closet and everything. You'll see random splotches of paint on the wall because I meant to patch up the walls from paintings and stuff we hung up, but I picked the wrong color out of the garage. And so now I don't know where the other color went. I'm going to have to repaint that. Anyways, back to the point of the video. So these are like, I would say, this is probably 80% of my, maybe 60, maybe 2/3 because I don't have my shoes in here. I don't have all my accessories in here. Yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff in here. But yeah, like all this stuff I just want to get out and take pictures of, because there are often times where I need new stuff and I don't have it, or I don't know what to get. And you know, when you have a couple of kids, you have a lot of stuff going on, you got work, you got shit to fix. Like the pair of pants, like not having a pair of pants can sometimes just feel like a death sentence, right? Or like I've probably gained like 10 pounds with each kid. When my wife and I got married, I was about 160 pounds. I'm about 210 pounds right now. And in this last year alone, I've probably gained like 15 pounds. And so like, I've just recently outgrown like a lot of my shit. All my last year's layers, I've moved up a size in the waist. I've moved up a size in shirts, tops. And so this is a perfect time because I've kind of had to cycle out a lot of stuff. And that's also why I keep things kind of minimal. So I don't need a whole change, and I don't need to spend a whole lot of money changing everything. I can kind of just be like, okay, I've outgrown this. This needs to be refreshed, this, whatever. And then also, you know, like day to day, I know if you've a parent, if you're maybe even if you're not a parent, you've probably experienced like you just don't have anything that just feels right, right? Like it's too big, it's too tight, it's not the right color, it's too boring, it's too loud, it's just not right for you. Your favorite shit is dirty or whatever, and like you don't have a backup. The shoes don't really go, the hat doesn't really go, the shirt, you feel fat, you feel skinny. And I really want to start minimizing that feeling. And I think that really starts with one, unfortunately, that you can't shortcut this, taking care of yourself. You gotta eat right, sleep right, fucking work out. And unfortunately, I don't have as much time to do that as I used to do. I still try to do a little bit, still try to take care of myself, but let's be real, that's really reduced. And so the next best thing is what I wear. Like money, like time and energy can solve most of that problem, but then money can also solve some of that. And not like purely money, but just like, just new clothes, new things. Spending some time on old things, like figuring out how to, like one thing, this is a huge tip. And you might already know this, you probably already do, but like you have to practice with what you wear. You have to practice. I know it sounds weird, but like your pants, like how do you style them? Do you cuff them? Do you not cuff them? Do you wear them on your hip? Do you wear them on your waist? Like, do you wear them somewhere in between? Like, what notch on your belt are you wearing it? And does that change with the shirt that you wear, or the top that you wear, the layer that you wear, the hat that you wear, right? Like all these little things, I've realized like each piece. I used to get a piece, and if it didn't immediately fit, I would get rid of it or be frustrated or really try to work around it. But now I just realize I just need to wear it more. And I think the best way to wear it more is to be aware of what you have and how it fits and what it goes with. And again, this is why I'm indexing everything, to make all those little things a little bit easier, to make styling a little bit easier, to make practicing wearing my clothes a little bit easier, which is really symbolically and spiritually a practice of becoming one's higher self. And this is something that I've struggled with. It feels like consumerism sometimes. It feels like it's too external. It feels like it's too much. But really what this is it's an artistic expression. And it is a way to really think deeply about things. Like, what does this color mean to me? What does this color feel like? What does this fit? What does this, what am I presenting to the world? How do I feel about myself? Right? All these insecurities, this confidence, this state of lack when you don't have the money to get what you really want, or this state of, frugality, or this state of creativity when you have to just make what you have work. All these things, it's truly a spiritual practice if you let it become one, just like any I won't say any spiritual practice, obviously. Well, you know what? Let me not even say that. Your spirituality is your spirituality. Your artistic expression, your expression of self, your inner journey is yours. And however it manifests is how it manifests. And right now it's manifesting with me indexing all my shit. So let me stop talking. I'll probably just play some clips of me doing it all, but I'm not going to like bore you with me taking all the pictures. I'll show you some shit. I'll share some notes. I'll share some thoughts, and then we'll meet back up and I'll kind of break down if I feel like it was worth it or if it wasn't, what I learned, what I didn't. Again, thank you for watching Dad's Deep Dives. And let's get into it with that long ass intro. Whew. All right. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is iron this sheet, because some of the other videos that I've watched, people have just done this on the floor, but I want a nice clean background. I think something to think about is if you want to start creating a system and not just do like a one-off index, you're probably going to need a system that kind of works quickly. So when you get a new pair of clothing, you don't have to do this whole setup. But for now, I want to make the first batch really nice. And then as I bring new things in and I just quickly index things, maybe just use the floor. But for now, since I got the time, I got the whole day, just go ahead and do this. I think this outlet might not have the juice for ironing this sheet. It's an extension cord, so maybe I'm gonna need to switch it. Oh well. First hurdle of the day really isn't even that big. of a hurdle. Okay, yeah, that works. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about that? Oh, so the it wasn't the outlet. I just wasn't working the iron right. But anyways, the app should take out the background, but just as an extra step, since I'm already here and I already got this sheet, go ahead and make a nice background so it's easier for the app to take out the background. Or if I want to use these pictures elsewhere or end up not liking the app, I don't have to rely on the background remover and I have a nice white background. I am kind of excited about doing this. Like I said, I have a note in my phone that kind of indexes everything that I have, just so I have, something quick to just kind of keep track of things. But when I made that note, it was more so just to keep track of like the items that I have. Like, do I have enough pants? Do I have enough shoes? Like, where do I need, like, how many jackets do I have? How many shirts do I have? Just so I could quickly kind of just reference what goes with what or what I need when I'm out shopping. Or really where it came in useful was, what items do I really like and what items do I not like? I would just highlight them. I would highlight them red if I didn't like them and I was going to get rid of them. I would kind of highlight them orange if I didn't really wear them. I would highlight them purple if they were my favorite. I would highlight them blue if they weren't necessarily my favorite, but I wore them often. And that just kind of gave me a bird's eye view of what I was wearing and what I liked. That actually ended up being really great. The only thing is, I made that system when I was trying to be a bit more minimalist. Like when I was trying to reduce overwhelm, when I was trying to just kind of be bare bones, like just meet necessities. And so now that I'm trying to express myself a little bit more, and my wife likes to see me in a little bit more color, now I've added in like not just one everyday hat, but now I have 5 hats, but my wife and I kind of share hats. But I have 5, right? And I've been collecting these little bead bracelets now, and I have these little paracord. I make these paracord bracelets for my kids. Really like them, and then my wife really likes them, and so I wear one I keep one on because it makes it easy to just kind of. It's almost like a little zip tie where you can just kind of tie something together real quick if you need to, loop something on, clip a binky to you, clip something on a stroller. So I usually keep one on me, and it's a nice way to have some function, but also a nice way to have a little color. I have pins for let's see, where is it? Let's see if you can kind of see that. I have pins for all my hats now that I've been collecting. And then I have a whole bunch of bandanas. I don't know how many of these I have. I started out with just like a pack of 4, but then my wife kind of made fun of me, but they clean up spit up, they clean up snot, you can wet them and clean up your hands when you're out and you're dirty. You can blow your nose. I don't know how many times I've been around someone and they've just started crying and I've been able to hand them a bandana. You can tie up your hair. I can tie up my daughter's hair if we're out for a walk. If you get a cup of coffee and it's too hot, you can wrap it around. If you get a cup of water and it's too cold and it has a whole bunch of condensation, you can wrap it around. We've used it as like a bug mask. I use it out when I'm working and I don't have like, quick access to like my little respirator. I'll just throw it on when I'm like mowing the lawn because I have bad allergies. Like it's just like it's so many uses. And so I've ended up like just having more because I go through them so often. And then we've ended up using them as kitchen rags too, like just so the kids can go grab one real quick. And so I don't know how many, we've just collected them. And I would like to kind of index those because even though they're a real like utility item, I end up wearing them as kind of like pocket squares, or I'll throw one in my back pocket. I'll have it match my hat or my outfit if I can, because I just feel like, I feel put together when I do that. So that's what I would like to do. I would like to mostly index a lot of my accessories, kind of take the next level of my note with the items that I currently have, but also start indexing my accessories and seeing how things fit together. I also wear bags now, just because, well, with one kid and with two kids, it was kind of like, I just have a baby bag. But now with four, we're washing bottles, we're going different places. Like I need to keep a snack on me. I need to have a binky on me. I need to have milk on me. I need to have all these different things. I need to have soap. I need to have lotion. I need to have hand sanitizer. And so I used to just shove everything in my pockets, but now I have so much stuff I can't just shove it in my pockets anymore. And so I need to have a bag. And so I would like to make sure that my bag matches. Imagine that. There will probably end up being some wrinkles in this just because I'm going to be a little bit lazy. I just want to get most of the major ones out. But yeah, the note that I have is just text, and so it does not capture, like, it obviously does not capture color, like, or feel or texture very well. And that's really why I want to take these pictures, is so it kind of captures not just what the item is and what it's made out of, but like kind of more of the feeling of the item. And I feel like that will give me a lot of practical use when I'm going to put together an outfit, or I'm going to look for kind of what I need. And that's where my note has kind of not been that helpful. Like I can put down that something is blue, but like what kind of blue is it, and like what texture is it? And you can describe that with words, but then you start to defeat the purpose, because it's like a picture is worth 1,000 words, and instead of just doing this whole note just for one item, I can just have a picture and that can tell me everything that I need, kind of without doing this whole rigmarole. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to reduce all the rigmarole. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna do this one last little piece, and I think that's just gonna be good enough. Okay, so now I think what I'll do is move this to the side, just in case I need to iron anything. My plan, let's see. My plan is to kind of spread this out. Let's see, it doesn't need to be super big. I don't need a super large spot, and then maybe just go get some weights to weigh this down. Okay, well, obviously I left some spots kind of wrinkled, but I think it's going to be fine. Maybe have a table here for when I do hats or accessories or shoes. And one right there. And the reason I'm using weights is so that I can pull this sheet out and they'll stay a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I like this. This is not so bad. This is not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. But also, you know, like if I step on it or something, it's not going to get all, you know, like too bent out of shape. That's good enough, I think. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't need to be perfect here. Whew. So, I guess it doesn't really matter where I start. I'll probably take pictures from this angle and kind of just do it like that. Yeah, that's good. Look at that. Oh, isn't that satisfying? Isn't that just satisfying? All right, so I think, you know, that first picture came out good, but I think things can come out just a little bit better. And so I brought this lamp from another room to hopefully get another source of light, because I'm using the window as the main source of light, and I like that. I like natural light. And I'm using this overhead light, but it's not that bright. So everything's kind of casting, since the window is right there, it's kind of casting a shadow on this side. And I want to make sure that it's not, you know, the black balance isn't warped. I want to make sure the color is kind of true and the shadows aren't off throwing the colors too much. So this light really isn't to light up the clothing. It's more so just to kind of eliminate some of the unnecessary shadow. Maybe that'll work, maybe it doesn't. Normally I hate this lamp, but it is useful when it's useful. Let's see. I'm gonna change out the light from like a warm light to more of like a balanced white light. And just see how that does. Is that? No, that's a warm light. Hold on. Let me try a different light bulb. I brought a couple of different lights just in case. And if not, then I'm not gonna go scrounge around in the garage for a light. Fuck. Anyways, I think that's gonna get the job done. It's just to knock the edge off. Take the edge off of that shadow. That's really all it's supposed to do. So as long as it does that, it's fine. It doesn't need to be the correct white balance. Let's see. Let's look at the pants now, if that made a difference. Honestly, I don't know. It made somewhat of a difference, not like a whole bunch, but maybe instead of putting it directly over, I'll angle it just a little bit more. And kind of get where oh yeah, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. It comes out much better in the pictures. So, I'm gonna hop up on the bed to show you the whole setup now that I got it. All right, if you can kind of see that. All right, so I got the natural light, got this big ceiling light, and then got this lamp. All to get this one pair of fucking pants. So yeah, I'm probably not going to do this whole thing every time I get a new piece of clothing, but since I'm spending the day doing it, might as well do it nice. All right. Whew. So this is something that my note on my phone also didn't capture very well, is like work clothes. And so this is like a work pair of jeans. And so I'm not sure if the camera is going to show it, but I have all these stains, you know, from paint, oil, stain. And then these are new, actually. I've really only had these about 2 months. But in my note, you can't really capture that it has stains. You can say like work pants, or you can highlight it as workwear, but it doesn't really capture like how bad is it, because at a certain point you can still wear these out, but then it crosses a certain threshold where you can't really wear them with anything because they're too dirty. They're just work pants. And so this is really nice to have a picture so I can kind of look at it. And this might be something that like I take a picture of it today, but then a month or two I take another picture of it and replace it, because these pants are going to change a lot. And up to a certain point, I'm still going to be able to wear them, but I don't have to strictly classify them in my head as workwear or put them in a different bin. I can just have them, as long as they're clean with everything else, and still wear them. And to just have that mental note that these are still in rotation. And I think I'm going to do that with all my work pants. That was a really tough thing that I had categorizing within the note, the text, the purely text note, was workwear versus casual wear versus lounge wear versus whatever. A picture really helps with that. And you know, maybe one more note to make while I'm here is, like, my old indexing system didn't capture things like the wrinkles in these knees. You know, since they're work pants, I bend a lot, I'm moving a lot, and so areas like the knees tend to get like stretched faster than, you know, like the thighs or the calves do. And so if I want it, that's something to keep in mind when you're kind of thinking of how casual you want to go, or maybe how sloppy of a fit you can put together. Like these, I won't say not a sloppy fit, but like, you know, sometimes you put on clothes and they just feel sloppy, like they feel stretched or they feel worn, they feel a little dingy, right? You can't really tell if you're just writing that down. And sometimes you can't tell, like if you just have them folded up in your closet or you have it, you know, hung up, like you're not going to go through it in that amount of detail, but seeing it in the picture, I can definitely tell that these are stretched, these are worn. And so if I go to style them casually outside of just working in them, then I'm probably going to pair them with something different. I might lean into the fact that they're a little dingy and dress a little bit more grungy. Or I might try to balance them out and wear it with like a button up or something, just to kind of play into the fact. I might kind of do a yin yang, where I'm wearing work pants but a nice shirt, right? Or like work pants but nice shoes. Because sometimes you can end up wearing like a pair of pants like this that feel a little stretched out, they feel a little dingy, right? And then you wear an old pair of sneakers, and then you just wear any sort of shirt, and now you just feel like shit and you don't know why. But if you can look at it, you're like, oh, well, that's why. They're worn out, they're stained, and the knees are saggy, the knees are blown out, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. I think I'm learning a lot from this process already.
What am I?
Wow. Well, first of all, let's appreciate the outfit.
Oh, my culottes.
The new culottes. Wow, and the lime green. Very nice. Very summer fall transition. Wow.
Thank you.
Accessories.
Oh.
Very nice.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Been making bracelets with the kids.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It's very good.
Typically think in my mind.
Hold on, you have to restate everything because I didn't press record. So why is this project so inspiring to you? And why did you come up with the idea to do this? And inspire me to do this as well?
I didn't come up with the idea myself. My humble husband has been indexing his clothes for a couple years now, which I just found out he's already said. But yeah, I want to get more use out of my closet and out of my clothes. Prior to having kids, I wore a lot of my clothes and just will wear anything. Not anything, but like I actually took more time and care into putting together outfits and expressing my creativity through the way that I dress. Once we had kids, I beiged out. Everything was beige and gray. And I've been working on bringing more color back into my wardrobe and deeper tones and playing around with different shapes and silhouettes. And I would like to do more of that. And I think this will help me to visualize my entire closet. It'll help me to shop more responsibly and not buy repeats of what I already have, and maybe inspire me to think out of the box with some of the pieces that I maybe only visualize as having 2 or 3 uses. Maybe I can visualize them with other pieces that I wouldn't normally put them together with.
Am I in the shot? Mm-hmm. All right, so now that I have everything set up, everything is going really quickly. All my laundry's done. I put a load in this morning, so I have all my clothes ready to go. Almost done with all my bottoms, and next I'm gonna probably do all my tops, then do all my layers. I guess those are tops too, but you know what I mean, like tops that you would put on tops.
Shirts.
You have tops and you have
Shirts, then you have
on tops.
On tops. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do accessories and shoes. And I'll stop here and there to make some notes like I have been, but other than that, we'll just keep it rolling and meet back at the end.
Is it on?
Yeah. Is this on? It's not on. Did this run out of battery?
No, this is on.
But this isn't on. I wonder if any of that
Yo, stupid ass ain't getting none of that. That's not how I talk to my husband.
You didn't get it.
Actually.
I think the microphone might be off. You have only like a couple of seconds to say what you're gonna say if you're gonna say it.
That light, that's not representative of us. That light is not representative of us. That's a struggle light. We needed a light and we were struggling. We get a new light.
We're not. It wasn't struggling. It was just a solution for the moment. And the light was too bright, so we put a
the lampshade was a struggle lampshade. It was an experiment. It was a creative experiment, and it came out looking creative.
Turn it on. It looks good. Can it be turned on?
It can be turned on. I don't think it looks a mess right now. But, you know. It just needs a new picture.
Every time I go to make a video and I show the house, she gets all embarrassed. I don't think anything's wrong with it. It's just a lamp. It's just a bulb and a lampshade, and it was too bright, so we put a cloth on it. Good solution to me. All of a sudden, we put it on camera, and there's something wrong with it.
I know.
Can you see the camera? Am I in frame right here?
Yeah, that looks really good.
It looks all right?
Yeah, that looks really good. The shirt is not totally in frame, but yeah. That's perfect. That looks really nice.
Okay. All right. So I just finished my t-shirts, and I kind of wish instead of laying them all out on this sheet, I would have just hung them up, because the drape ends up being a lot more natural that way instead of trying to fold it all up in the way that you would wear it. And so for all my layers, I'm going to just hang them up on these hooks. This is where my clothing rack used to be, so I have these hooks up here, and I'm just going to hang them and take pictures like this, because I feel like that's going to save a lot of time, and it's going to end up looking better. I don't mind so much if the hook is in the picture. I just realized when I go out to get new pieces of clothing, I buy it, and then I always I run it through my little note on my phone, and then I kind of mentally see if it would work, but then I always take it home and end up trying it on with all my clothes and then taking it back. But I think what I might do now is just when I'm in the store, just go ahead and hang it up like this on the rack and just take a picture and then put it in the app, so I can kind of do that whole process without going home. And then if I do need to return it, I can still return it, but I think it's going to cut down my trips quite a bit. And this just seems like a much more natural way to photograph tops. Now, I do think for like pants, it's still probably better to do it on the floor, because it's a little difficult to hang pants. And then probably for like sweaters and stuff, I only really have one sweater, but still, like, that's probably going to be better to be photographed on the floor. But hanging them up like this is going to make it go way faster. And I actually might just redo all my t-shirts, because I didn't really like the way that they came out laying them on the floor. I just realized that for all the pictures I've been taking, I've had the rich contrast style selected as my photograph style on my iPhone, and a quick ChatGPT search has let me know that I cannot revert that. So I'm gonna have to retake all the pictures that I've taken. Thankfully, I'm only like 40% of the way through. It still sucks, but I've been wondering why. Like, I've just been getting so many shadows, and it doesn't just look flat. It doesn't look like it does in real life. And then I just realized that I don't have the original style on, which is frustrating. But just as a tip to you, if you're going to go do this, make sure your camera settings are how you want them before you get halfway through. Oh, okay. So I'm about maybe halfway. No, more than halfway. Probably like at least 75% of the way done. I have my pants, shorts. Well, I have all bottoms and tops. Tops on tops. Everything. But my wife and the babies fell asleep in the room, so I got to be quiet, and so I'm going to stop filming. I'm just going to wrap up my shoes. Well, I'm not going to stop filming. I'm just going to stop talking. And I'm going to do my shoes, and then I have accessories like belts. I have like one or two. I have like 2 watches, hats, bandanas, and then like some bracelets and stuff. And that's not a whole bunch. So I'm going to take those. Oh, and then a couple of bags. And then I think this might not be for today, but I think I might end up like putting things like mugs in there too, because I have a few different ceramic mugs, and then I have mugs that I always have a mug with me, some sort of mug or tumbler or cup, and I think it kind of goes with my outfit sometimes, and it's a little bit of a ambition. It's doing a little much, but I think it's cool, and it's something that I do. So I might add that. I don't know. Maybe not today though. So I'm gonna finish up. This is like my third or fourth cup. This is probably my fourth cup of coffee. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I don't know why I keep saying this every time we talk, but like we'll finish this up and then we'll meet back at the end, like it's some sort of group project. I figured out the photo settings, so this hasn't really taken that long. It's probably all in all taken 2 hours, and then I had to redo like half of it. So, and then also I had to set up the camera, set up the sheets. If I was to do it again, I don't actually think the sheet is all that useful, because I end up spending more time adjusting the sheet than the clothes. So if I was to do it, if I was to do this again, I probably wouldn't even bother with doing the sheet. I would just do the clothes on the floor. What else? Yeah, get my photo settings right from the jump. And that's really it, actually. So this is good because we're going to do my wife's next, and it really sucked to make these mistakes on my wife's clothes, because she probably has, like, not exaggerating, maybe about 6 or 7 times the amount of clothing that I do. Like, honestly, maybe even 8. And so that's probably going to be an all day thing. So it's good to kind of learn on my stuff because I have less, and then kind of replicate it on my wife so we don't have to waste as much time. But yeah, so far it's going good. I'm happy with it. I haven't put anything in the app just yet. I'm just taking all the pictures, and so I'll have to do that after. But I'll get all the rest of my accessories and shoes and stuff done, and then go on to the next step.
All right, it is the next morning, and I've taken all the pictures. I've downloaded 2 different apps, and my wife and I even went shopping to go test it out. So let's just break it down. It went all right, right? It went all right. It was a lot of work, but it went all right, and I was actually really excited about it. The first app I downloaded was Index, because my wife saw some video with it, and I spent all of 1 minute in Index. It was okay. The style, the theme of Index wasn't for me. I think it leaned a little chic. A little chic, maybe. It's not, I wouldn't describe my style as chic. And then I found this other app called Wearing, and that one was a lot better. You could bulk download or bulk upload photos. So in an Index, either you can't, or I didn't figure out a way that you could bulk upload pictures, and I ended up with like 80 things that I indexed. And so I know for my wife, who probably has like 400 things, that's gonna be hell, having to sit and upload each video. Not only do you have to upload each photo, you upload it and then it removes the background. And so it took, for the first picture I uploaded on Index, it took like 60 seconds. Whereas Wearing, it took, it might have taken like a minute or so, 2 minutes, depending on how many photos I uploaded. I wasn't able to upload everything at one time, but I was able to upload batches of like 15 to 20 photos at one time. And then you can kind of scroll through the batch that you uploaded and fill things out. Kind of edit the picture a little bit, fill out what you want to fill out, which you can do on Index too, but Wearing's interface just made it a lot easier. So I stuck with that. I only uploaded 1 item to Index before I switched to Wearing, and then I uploaded everything there. You can add price, fit, color, size, all these different things. And then we went shopping. We went to the mall. And, well, depending on where you're at, it might not be relevant where we went to the mall at. But we went to the mall because my wife ordered this pair of clogs from Coach, and they came in and she was super excited. They look super great, but they were a size too small. So we ended up driving about an hour, 15 minutes away at like 5 o'clock to go get the right size. So we packed up the babies and we went, and it was actually really nice. We talked the whole drive. It felt like a little date, and we got to the mall. The mall sucked. I hate to say it, the people sucked. It was kind of like an uppity mall. Think of me what you will. Maybe I'm a bigot. Maybe I live in my own bubble. But have you ever just gone somewhere and you're just like, fuck these people, fuck these stores? All like there's 10 employees per customer in this store, right? I just feel like everybody's breathing down your neck. It feels like you're in an aquarium or like a pool full of sharks or something, and somebody just dropped a bucket full of chum in there, and everybody's just in a fucking frenzy to get their clothes. Nobody's being polite. Nobody's saying thank you. Nobody's saying excuse me. This is a complete side note. But then we go to our favorite places and like people are chill. People are like, oh, look at your babies. Oh, I had twins. Oh, look at, and they chat you up and everything. And I think really what it is the difference from being in like a city versus like a town or a small city. So like we live in a city of 100,000 people, but then we went to a city that has like the area has a few million people, and like the difference is crazy. And then the difference between like a city of like 100,000 and like 10,000 is even crazy. Well, then I start getting into like 10,000 is like a little small, right? Like people start looking at you weird again. But that sweet spot of like, I would say 60 to like 150,000 people. It's like the sweet spot for shopping. Anyways, complete side note, complete irrelevant. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop apologizing for giving you all this extra detail, because the channel is called Dad's Deep Dives. And so if I didn't deep dive, why would you even watch the channel? This video, I completely thought, all the videos that I saw on YouTube, or not the videos that I saw on YouTube, but the videos that my wife was watching on YouTube that I kind of like paid attention to for a minute or two on all this clothing indexing stuff. I don't know, they might have been like 20, 30 minutes. And mine is probably going to be quite a bit longer. And I didn't mean for it to happen that way. It's just probably going to happen that way. Anyways, it'll be a blessing if I get it done shorter. But that's why the channel is Dad's Deep Dive. So anyways, fuck them all. But we got back, we did them all. And then we went to one of our favorite stores, I would say one of our favorite stores is Uniqlo. Because you can usually find something decent there for like an okay price. The prices aren't great, but they're okay. And I'm actually starting to outgrow Uniqlo just in terms of size. They only carry up to XL, and in certain sizes, like I'm bumping up into a double XL. And so some of their oversized clothing fits me like normal clothing would. And so I do like that. I do like that I can find like decent basics there consistently, but I'm starting to outgrow it, which kind of sucks because that used to be my favorite store, but that's a side note. So we went to Uniqlo, and it was like twice the size of our normal Uniqlo. So it was cool walking around, but the people sucked. The Uniqlo, the atmosphere sucked. But anyways, I pulled out the app to kind of just try on some stuff, and I asked my wife to take some videos of me doing that, and she was embarrassed because there was people around, but she did it, and I thank her. But what I found was like, even though I pulled out the app to look at my digitalized inventory, I really didn't like it, right? Like the pictures were okay, like the pictures I took were okay, but they didn't exactly capture like the most important part. So remember when I was telling you about the notes app that I had that note in, and I'll probably share a screenshot of it. Need some juice to keep going. Yeah, I'll probably share with you I'll share that with you. And I thought, okay, well, the text captures something, but the pictures are going to capture. A picture is worth 1,000 words is what I think I said. And if like a visual is worth like 1,000 words, I think like having a piece of clothing in your mind, having a piece of clothing on, being able to feel it, see it, is worth like 10,000. I looked at the pictures and they just looked flat, right? They were inanimate. They were not alive. They did not capture the feeling. I had to scroll through it all. So like in my notes app, I can get a bird's eye view of everything that I have very quickly. 'Cause it's just lines of text, but the pictures I have to kind of scroll. I have to look. There's actually more information to process in the picture, which is weird. Like I have to process the color, the fit, the everything while I look at the picture. Whereas if I look at the text, I can be like, okay, that's my brown flannel shirt. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I remember it. I remember the last time I wore it. I know what it matches with, and I can recall that information readily. And I think maybe I can do that because my wardrobe is already so small. I've already pared it down so much that I have almost like an intimate relationship with each item, and every item that I don't have an intimate relationship with is on its way out the door, which is what I've always wanted. Like I want a connection to the things, not just my clothing, but like I want a connection to the things in my life. And so the pictures just didn't provide that connection. It felt like, okay, well, like I already have this kind of ingrained in my memory and my imagination, and I can feel it if I close my eyes, right? And so like I ended up not even using the app. And then I thought, okay, I'll go through some of the features. I'll make fits, right? Like, I'll make outfits, I'll plan. I ended up like going through all the features of the app and was kind of like, I'm never going to use any of this. But it did make me realize something. It made me realize that one, the 2-3 hours that I spent 4 hours on this whole process is kind of what it felt like. I took breaks in between, so the whole process didn't take that long. But I realized it wasn't a waste of time. But what I did realize, well, I want to say one, it was not a waste of time because I did learn something. And what I learned was that one, my old system was just fine. But two, what I really appreciate, what I wanted out of digitizing my wardrobe was kind of like simplicity. I wanted organization. I wanted to be able to recall. I want to be able to like see it all at a bird's eye view, right? Like just to see it all, or get an idea of it. And I found actually the best way to do that is something that I'm already doing. It's just display everything that I have. Like in my closet, my wardrobe, like I can see all my clothes. I have all my pants stacked. I have some out of season stuff just kind of tucked away in baskets or in my kind of my drawer. But for the most part, everything that's in season, which pretty much everything is in season for me because one, we live in a climate where like, it's the dead of summer right now. Oh, it's not the dead of summer. It's kind of late summer, but it's the hottest part of the year right now. And I'm wearing a hoodie and flannel pajamas in the morning because it's foggy out. It's cold. But later this evening, I'll probably just be wearing shorts and a t-shirt because it's going to get hot. And that's kind of how it is all year long. Now, there are some periods where it just gets hot and some periods where it just gets cold, and I'm not using every single item in my wardrobe. I'm not using my winter jackets. But last year, I decided I don't even need winter jackets for where I live. I just need good layering so I can wear all my shit year round. So aside from things that are just kind of put up right now because it's really not the season for, like pretty much everything, I would say 90% of my wardrobe is just out on display. And the thing that I thought I would get the most value out of, like indexing my accessories, ended up being like one of the least valuable things because on the app, it just feels like clutter. Like all my bandanas, all my bracelets, all my pins, it just felt like clutter just in the app. It felt like there's no context to it. And I think that's what the picture alone lacks. It lacks context. Like when I see something, when I see my bracelets or, I have my drawers and I open up my drawers and it's next to my clothes, like I get context, right? Like I get inspiration from that. I have all my hats hung up like right by the door. I have all my bracelets like in a certain little bowl in my drawer. I have all my watches, in a certain little place. Well, I say all my watches. I have 3 watches and one is loaned out to my 4-year-old. So I have 2 watches. And then the other watch my mother-in-law gave me, and it's way too fancy for me to wear. Like, I have not found it within myself to have that much confidence to wear that watch. And so I just look at it. I wear it around the house sometimes. And so really I just have one watch and it's on my wrist. But my bracelets and stuff, my shoes are typically by the door. Like we really have 3 entrances to the house. the garage door, the front door, and then we have this sliding glass door at the back of the, like right next to me actually. And I just keep a pair of shoes there. What I did realize is I only have 4 pairs of shoes. So I probably need another pair of shoes. But my shoes live by the door, by a door. I have a pair by the front door, a pair by the back door, and 2 pairs by the garage. Because that's where I'm coming and going, that's where my shoes are. That's probably not going to change. Now, one pair, like my slides, I have 2 pairs of like sandals. I have a pair of Bostons and I have a pair of Arizona Birkenstocks. Those just stay by the door. I don't really wear those out of the house unless I'm going to my parents' house or my mother-in-law's house and I know I'm going to be taking off my shoes. They just stay in the house. They're just basically house shoes, garage shoes, backyard shoes. And so my boots and my sneakers stay by the garage door because if I'm going to go out and work in the backyard, do something in the garage, do something physical, or I'm going to go run errands, go shop, go do whatever, I'm wearing real shoes. And so they stay by the door. My bags are kind of the same way. I'm not wearing a bag in the house, so my bag just stays by the door so I can grab it before I go and I can put it down when I come in. All my bags live in the same little locker by the front door. Now, one thing I don't really have is a locker in the garage. I tend to just kind of throw or hang up my clothes on a screw. I have a screw just nailed into the garage and I just throw my shit on there. But I think what I would love to do, just so it feels organized, it feels intentional, is to just create like a little locker in the garage to put my work clothes, put my wife's work clothes, put my kids' work clothes, gloves, hats, pants, whatever, smocks. Just have a locker of work clothes. That feels very intentional. I would like to do that. But when I threw my work clothes in the app, it just felt like clutter, right? Like the context is missing. It's like this work jacket is next to these casual jeans, but like I'm never really gonna wear this because that's just not how there's dividers, right? Like there's a mental divider in my head. So like even when I see it on my note, it's like I know, like, okay, that's a work jacket. It might be listed in my jackets, but I know it's a work jacket. So I'm not associating it with any sort of outfitting. It's just my work jacket. It's in the garage. And so to pay homage to that, to pay homage, I don't know why I said the word homage. I don't actually know what that word means. To pay respect to the work jacket, to pay respect to my work clothes, I think I'll just create a locker in the garage. I made this set of jewelry trays and bowls for my wife last year. Well, it might have been last year or the year before. Like one of those years I got into woodworking. I just up and was like, you know what, I want to learn how to woodwork. And so I started woodworking. And since then I've built a shed, I built a greenhouse, I've built lockers, I built the whole thing in our kids' playroom. I built the play structure. Like I got into it. But one of the first things I started making was just like little trays, like jewelry trays, because they were simple enough to make. And I think that's probably what I'll put my bracelets in. I might make another one or a couple of more. You know, my socks, my underwear, they're in baskets so I can see them. Like even like my underwear and my socks are on display. So even my belts, when I put my belts out, they're right next to my underwear and my socks. And that system of being able to see everything in the context that they would be used in, like, you know, my tops are hanging up and my pants are folded below my tops. And then my accessories are to the right, because in the morning, that's what I'm going to put on. I'm not going to put on my shoes right there. So my shoes don't need to be there. And I can pick what I'm going to wear as my base outfit for the day. And then when I'm about to leave the house, then I pick my shoes. I don't have 100 shoes to pick from, so it's not like that serious. If you have 100 shoes to pick from, maybe you need to fucking index it so you know. But I only have 4, so I don't need to do that. Same thing, like, you know, I don't wear a hat in the house, so my hat's by the door. I pick out what I'm going to wear for the day in my room. After I take a shower, I go to get dressed. I pick my pants, I pick my shirt, I pick maybe a mid layer. But even my jackets typically aren't in the room. They're hung up somewhere because I'm wearing them out of the house and then I'm taking them off when I come in the house. And so this whole thing has really provided me with the context, or like context for context. Like context has been the most important thing that I've learned. My clothes live where they are useful. And photos of those clothes on an app just turned out not to be useful for me. And that was a huge surprise. I thought it was going to be great. And it turned out like it just wasn't. I thought like, oh, you know, I'll go out and use it and buy stuff. Or before I buy stuff, I'll reference this app. But I realized If I try it on in the store, I would say 75% of my wardrobe works together. There are a few pieces that have to be styled or like specifically, only go with a couple of things, but I really try to limit those pieces. So pretty much everything, and even if I tried really hard, I could wear anything with anything if I tried. And also if I just had the gumption. Like, there are some things that I could just wear and it would work. It's just not my style, if that makes any sort of sense. So like everything that I have would work with it, would work with everything. Everything that I have works with everything else that I have. And I think that's why that's why I've kind of narrowed in on a color group, a palette, a texture, a weight to all these clothes so that they all kind of work together. And so if I go to the store to try something on, I know it's probably going to work with like at least 80% of my, like the rest of my wardrobe pretty easily. I'm not going to have to like overthink about it. And then I bring it home. I actually try it with the rest of my wardrobe. And sometimes it goes like I think, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the fit is not right. Sometimes it's just not comfortable. Usually it's not the fact that it doesn't match. It's the fact that the silhouette is not right? Like, or the clothes themselves after wearing them for a little bit actually doesn't work. And so I go return it. And I don't think I'm going to circumvent that process. That's time and energy and intention that has to be put into building a solid wardrobe, I think. And it can't be shortcutted by just having an app. I think some of it can, but for what I do day to day with my wardrobe, my little notes app is just fine. It does the same thing. It's just a reference. It's just a guide. It's just a little map. It's like a little pocket map that says, okay, this is where you're lacking. This is what you need. This is what you don't need. This is what you've liked recently. This is what you don't like. This is what you're getting rid of. This is what you need, right? Like in my app, like for the things that I want or need or that I'm thinking about, I just put a little like check mark, like, in Apple Notes, you can have like a checklist. And so I just put an empty checklist of things that could work. And then when I'm out or I'm shopping, I'm like, okay, like this is like, here's what I need. Here's what I've been looking for. And so I don't have to spend a whole bunch of time like, oh, do I need this? Do I need that? No, it's right there. I already planned it out. So that's what I learned. And, I'm happy with that. The indexing didn't work out, but it didn't work out because I'm already doing it. It's not that the indexing doesn't work. It's that format of indexing did not work for me. That's what it is. I like it physical. I like it in front of me. And if I don't have it in front of me, I just want to pull up my note real quick and just get a reference. And I already have those systems. And so I think I'm just going to double down on those systems. And to make those systems work even better, for me personally, as I'm like getting more of these bracelets, which is weird. This one, my wife and my son just made for me. This one, my mother-in-law just got for me. I told you I always keep like a little paracord zip tie on me. The other one, I have another one that I got on my birthday with my wife. And so it's not like, I'm not buying shit a whole bunch of like I'm just naturally like accumulating things. Like a couple of the new hats that I have. It's not like I went out and just like, oh, I just need a new hat. My wife and I went out for my birthday and we ended up going to a hat store and one hat was on sale and I was just like, oh, it's too good a price to pass up. And then she picked one out for me. And so, like they have some sentiment, they have some meaning. I usually don't just like go out and just like buy stuff because I need stuff. It's more like I wait around and I wait for a good deal. I wait for like the perfect thing. I wait for like the buying window to be within a window of like time that means something to me, like around a birthday, around a holiday, around like a celebration. Because then I feel like it kind of encapsulates that feeling into that item. Like when you just get a little bit of money in your pocket and you go out and spend it on something nice, right? Like that's the feeling. It's not the item or the money. It's like, it's all the hard work. It's like, it feels like a reward. It feels like you've earned it and all that gets encapsulated. It gets distilled into this item. And I really love when I'm able to get an item like that. So yeah, that is what's working for me right now. And so I guess where my train of thought was, what's making that work? Well, that's making that work. Making sure like the items in my wardrobe are meaningful, which also means kind of by default that I can't have a whole bunch of shit in there, right? I think past a certain threshold, you probably do need to digitize. Like, right, if you're trying to work with different color palettes, like if you're trying to like distinct different color palettes, like I'm trying to be homogenous, but if you're trying to be like, you want to have like a purple and pink side of your wardrobe, and then you want to have like a khaki and I don't know, brown side of your wardrobe, like maybe they cross pollinate, but also maybe they need to have their own sections, like respectively. All right, and if you have a blue green, right, and then you have an orange yellow, if you have all these colors and you're trying to like really warp space and time with your wardrobe, then yes, I would say you need to digitize it, because it's just not going to work any other. I don't see any other way it could work unless you just have a huge room and gallery just dedicated to it, which I think unless you're a professional, you're probably not going to have. You're probably just going to have the closet your house or apartment came with. And I don't know, maybe you live in a studio and you don't have a closet, right? Like you just got like a little pop-up closet. Honestly, that's what I have. I don't have a fucking closet. My wife has the closet. And that, I know how stereotypical that sounds, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, woe is me, I don't have a closet. But I didn't want a closet because I didn't want it to be, I wanted my clothes to be out. And I had to fight tooth and nail to let that idea fly with my wife. My wife did not want a whole bunch of clutter in the room. And so I had to like thoughtfully craft how it was going to look in the room so that it didn't look bad in the room. And so all my clothes are on display, all my items are on display. But to make that work for me and for my wife, it's meant that I've had to have like a very curated selection of shit, so it doesn't just look like I just have a whole bunch of shit in the corner of the room, which I've enjoyed, which has been great. Every time I buy a piece of clothing, I ask, like, I know this piece of clothing is going to be something that I look at every day, my wife looks at every day, I'm going to have to take care of. Is this something that I really want to invest in? And most of the time that answer is no. And that's better. That's a better system for me than having it indexed, on my phone, or having it digitized. But like I said, I do think there is probably a threshold. Like my wife might actually get a lot of use from digitizing her wardrobe, because she has a lot of shit, and like you can't just like get a bird's eye view of it. She has shoes, she has bags, she has jewelry, she has clothes. Like where I have like 4 pairs of shoes, she has how many? She might have 20. And like I don't feel like that's even a crazy number of shoes for a woman to have. I don't mean to be sexist, but like I feel like 20 is honestly, it's probably reasonable. And like 20 after I've like bugged her for years, like, you got to get rid of those. 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 We just did a whole roundup around the house of my clothes, my wife's clothes, the kids' clothes, the baby clothes that don't fit, that don't work, that could just use a second home. And we went and took those to, and we donated those. And we try to do that at least. I try to do that maybe 3 to 4 times a year. I try to get my family to do it at least twice a year. That way, because shit piles up quickly, and it just feels so good to have that dead weight off. And I would say for the amount of time that I spent indexing my clothing, what is a better use of time, and what I usually do for me personally, is to just go through and touch and unfold and try on every single piece of clothing that I have, to feel its energy, right? I don't want to get super spiritual on this, but like to feel it, right? Like how does it feel now? I'm 20 pounds heavier. How does it feel? I'm 2 pounds heavier. How does it feel? Like I'm 10 pounds lighter. How does it feel? How does it work? Does it still work with, I got this pair of pants 2 years ago. Does it still work with everything that I've gotten within the last year? And for me, the tactileness, the physicality, and like the little nuances that you can get from like having the clothing on and feeling it, that beats everything. And I indexed 80 items, but that's shoes, that's socks, that's pants, that's pajamas, that's tops, that's jackets, that's hats, that's bracelets, that's everything. that I have. So like in like I can realistically put all that on in a day, like an hour or two, and just like do it real quick. I can cycle through it. I can get that information. Whereas if you have, I don't know, where would I stop doing that? Maybe like double. If I had double what I have now, then I would start thinking of, okay, like it's probably just going to be more efficient to just get a logical mental view. But still, like, I don't know. I feel like still, I can't even imagine having that much because like I personally just want to be close to it. My wife doesn't have that same feeling, and that's okay. You might not either. But if you do, then I think the route for you to go is just curate your wardrobe, pare everything down, be a little bit more minimal, and grow a closer relationship to your clothes, practice with them, and let that be that. If that's not who you are, that's not your personality, you're more of a maximalist, you're more of like a big canvas sort of person, then do your big canvas. I would say still try to curate, still try to have everything organized because that's always helpful. But yeah, maybe you want to spend the time to digitize. Especially, I think where it really would pay off is you do it once and you can add to it, right? So like if you have that big of an inventory, like stores, like you keep an inventory, you keep pictures, you keep SKUs, you keep item numbers, right? And because if you're that big, that's the only way you can keep track. And so if you're that person, it might take a lot of energy up front to do it. But I think as time goes on, since you're going to be adding in and taking out a lot of stuff, it's going to be easier to track it, so things don't get lost, things don't get neglected, things don't just crumple up and die in the shadows. To just have it on your app so you can easily just scroll through it on your phone instead of having to like dig through it in this huge warehouse of a closet that you have. That's not me though. That's not me. So what I'm going to be doing is the same thing I've been doing. Yeah. Spend a little bit more time with the clothes that I have. Give a home to the things that don't have a home, like my work clothes. Make a new bowl for my bracelets that I've been accumulating. And that feels right for me. That feels like, that was obvious from the jump. Get a new pair of shoes. That's what I need. And call it a day. I could probably do all that shit today. I might not, but I could. So thank you guys for tuning into Dad's Deep Dives. Hopefully this was way more information than you needed. Hopefully you just played this in the background and tuned in when it was useful. But if you didn't and you sat here with me the whole time, I do appreciate you. If you tuned out, but you kept the video playing and ran the views up, my watch time up, I appreciate that. It would help a lot if you left a like or shared the video. That's up to you. When people ask me to do that, when I watch YouTube videos, I don't do it. So I feel a little bit hypocritical asking you to do it. So don't feel like you have to, but I do appreciate it. Leave me a comment with what you want to see. A big thanks to my wife for making this video possible, hanging out with the babies and the kids while I took the time to talk about my spiritual journey with clothing. Thank you to my wife for going shopping with me and taking those videos, even though she was embarrassed. For a couple of the shots, while I was using my phone, I had to use her phone to get some B-roll. And so thank you to her for helping. What was that PBS commercial? And thank you, the viewer, for making this possible. But, thank you too, but also thank my wife because, she's the producer. She is she's logistics on this. I'm just a pretty face. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.